Yeah. First off, Dillon Mitchell was terrific tonight. He was really, really good. And you look down, and he's plus 37. And I'm not a big plus minus guy because that stuff can be misleading, especially in limited data, like a one game situation. But it's not misleading tonight. I thought he was a difference maker on both ends when he was in the game tonight. So I was pleased with that. I thought he looked really good defensively. He was great on the glass with 9 rebounds, and I thought he's been showing us flashes of some things that he can do offensively, and I thought he was able to apply that to the game tonight, and I was excited about that. Obviously, anytime you win a Division I game, they're hard to win, so you feel good about that. But there's a lot of, and then I like that we didn't turn the ball over. So I'm trying to start with the positive stuff, guys. I'm not pleased with our rebounding. That's something we got to hang our hat on. So I'm not pleased with that at all. To not have one offensive rebound after like 32 minutes of play. You guys know me well enough now. That frustrates me. And Dan's not playing. I'm sure you guys will ask about that next. But he's a terrific offensive rebounder, but one guy shouldn't affect our ability to get to the board. So, all in all, there was some really good stuff out there. I don't want to be the negative Nancy just to be the negative Nancy, but I didn't think that we rebounded to our standard tonight, and I didn't like some of our defensive possessions tonight. But then, again, there was some good stuff too. I give Morehead credit. I thought they did a good job of trying to hold the ball a little bit and go deep down into the clock, and then they made some tough shots over the top of us late in the clock a couple times. But at the same time, there was some things that weren't up to par there, and it'll be good to learn from on the film.
Dan didn't play, so I'll go ahead and ask about that here. Any update?
Yeah, I know it's coming. Yeah, I don't have an update yet. Hopefully next week. Something happened in the game Tuesday night against Pine Bluff, and was it Monday night? Monday night against Pine Bluff, and he came in Tuesday for film, and he did, after the game he was fine, but his knee swelled up a little bit, so we're trying to kind of figure that out. But we don't have a big update at this time. He's walking around. You guys probably saw him on the bench, but when we know something, we'll let you guys know. Certainly, we're not the same team without him and Day-Day, and it'll be great to get those guys back, and that's the plan right now.
Anything on Day-Day?
Day-Day's been progressing. If you asked Day-Day was working out after shoot around today, and he's telling me he's been a full sweat, going full speed, telling me he can play tonight. And I said, great. I want you to be able to play, but I ain't playing you tonight. And we just want to make sure that we don't have setbacks. So we've been taking it way more cautiously than we probably need to, but I think that's the right thing to do. I think Bob Mangine thinks that's the right thing to do, and my guess is that Day-Day will be participating in a different way in our practices next week, and if that keeps progressing, it wouldn't surprise me if he's playing in our next game.
So minus those guys, Dillon doesn't miss a shot. Seamus didn't miss till about 4 minutes to go. You had about 4 guys that had no missed shots for a bulk of the game. Is that what you see every day in practice?
Yeah, and I should have said that to start too. I thought Seamus did some nice things, some really nice things. I thought Jizzle had some nice. I thought Jizzle made a couple of really nice plays with the ball. I know he missed a couple early that he'd like to get back, but you look down, he's 6 for 10, and there's some good stuff. Aziz has a good line. I'm on his butt because I think he can get 20 rebounds in that game, that type of thing. But there was guys. There was some good stuff. I want us to dominate the boards against everybody we play, and I certainly want to dominate the boards in that game.
Russ.
The overall 30-30 tied rebounding, was it just would you think it was just a lack of effort? Did you think it was a lack of just positioning on the floor defensively? Could you gauge that in the game?
Well, I thought there are 11 offensive rebounds. Some of them are long rebounds, long shots, long rebounds. Maybe some breakdown in technique, or you're leaking out. Then there's a couple that are right there at the front of the rim where they kind of shoot it and get their own rebound back, or you come over to block it. Yeah, we'll look at the film, but I didn't think it was just like one issue. like our kids play hard, so I don't think I'd ever. It's not fair for me to sit up here and say our kids didn't play hard enough, but there's a standard that I want, and I certainly wanted to see it to a higher standard tonight.
Are you seeing just a little different form of Aziz just being early season? Doesn't have to do with everything that he did last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think this time last year he wasn't playing, so I can't compare this to anything because he wasn't allowed to get in the games. But I think it's helping. I'm trying to play him longer stretches and more minutes, but we got to get him in better shape, because his ability to run is as good as anybody in the country. His ability to rebound on the offensive board is as good as anybody at his position in the country. I mean, I think he's terrific, but we got to get where he can play 7-8 straight minutes or big minutes in a game, and he can do it every possession. We just got to get him in better condition.
It's another slow start for Jizzle, but then you blink in the second half and he has 14 points and he's double figures. It kind of like the first game. He started slow, he distributed, and then nearly had a triple double. I mean, is that you obviously don't worry too much about him, or maybe you do. I don't know.
I don't have a lot of worries about Jizzle James. No, he's pretty dang good, guys. I mean, he's been shooting the ball at such a high clip all summer, all fall, all preseason practice. He's missing a couple back rim early in the game, last two games. I don't even blink. And then you look down, he's 6 for 10, 2 for 3, 14 points. He only has 2 assists, but he probably started like the hockey assist, or we call him the domino. He probably started the domino on offense 10 times tonight. I mean, he's been pretty dang good.
Coach, nearly 50 points in the paint there. Was this an emphasis heading into tonight to get the ball inside and really get those numbers going for the big guys?
I just think it's been an emphasis for us to be more aggressive all off season and all preseason, to try to put pressure on the rim, whether it's with the drive, with the roll and the pick and roll, with the post opportunities. And obviously you're seeing post opportunities in different ways, not just from Aziz and AP. You're seeing them from our big wings, whether it's off of a drive and they kind of flip their hips, or we're shuffling them or screening them in there. So yeah, we've tried to figure out ways all off season to put more pressure on the basket and get to the foul line more, and I think we saw some of that tonight.
The offensive execution through 2 games, do you feel like the actions you guys have been installing for the last few months are going according to plan, or would you like to see it at an even higher level despite the point totals?
I mean, I always, you always want more, better, more. That's never going to change. We could score on every single possession in a game, and I'd probably, find things that I think we could do better. That's my job, right? That's why I have a job. So it's kind of difficult to answer the question. I mean, there's been some good things and some carryover, and I love the way we're sharing the basketball. I love the action that we're creating without me calling a play. And then there's some things that we can do better. But I thought some of our offensive execution in the first half was really good. Like some of our sets were really good in the first half.
13 points for Arrington Page tonight off the bench, 17 minutes. Talk about his impact tonight.
Yeah, he had some really good possessions. I loved he had one possession. He just ran the rim and sealed, held his position, and they finally get a foul. I love that he converted on the free throw line. I mean, he's 7 for 8 from the free throw line. He put pressure on the other team. He got fouled, and he got to the free throw line and converted. I thought that was good, but you guys can see it. He's such a terrific young player, and he's just scratching the surface, and he seems to get better every week. So I'm having a blast coaching him.
2 more questions.
CJ and Connor didn't offensively kind of fill the stat sheet like you would hope that they normally do, especially with Dan out. Is it imperative that you get the 2 of them kind of on the right track?
I mean, I thought Connor's doing a nice job of playing 2 positions right now with Day out. So, we're asking a lot of him. We're asking him to play with Dan and Day out, we're asking him to play a lot of minutes at the 2, but we're also asking him to back up Jizzle at the 1. And I think he's doing a damn good. And he's asking him to learn a new defensive system. And he's playing hard. He's playing competitive. Like I'm pretty pleased with him. When he honestly goes 1 for 5 and 0 for 3 and 0 for 1 from the foul line, I think it's more he just needs a break. He just needs some rest. He's been probably going a little too hard. So we're gonna give them tomorrow off because, you know, guys like him and Jizzle, they need a day off. I mean, they really do. They need to rest their bodies, and they're doing a lot for us right now on both ends of the floor. And I don't worry about C.J. Frederick at all. Like he's the more he plays, the more in rhythm he is, the more the ball starts popping around. He's going to have big offensive nights. He's a really good offensive player. Everybody here knows that.
It looks like Tyler Betsy is pretty comfortable. Is that kind of what you've seen throughout the first 2 games? And if so, is it surprising to see a true freshman come in and be able to contribute like that?
Well, I've said it about Tyler a number of times now. I think there's very few freshmen. In the 1 year that I've coached in the Big 12, there were very few freshmen that impacted this league. Very, very few. I've thought since I recruited Tyler Betsy, he was good enough to impact this league as a freshman. That's how good I think he is. I think there's some things that he's doing that don't surprise me because I've thought that for a long dang time. And then I think like these minutes in these games are really valuable because it's something he can learn from, right? Like I think, you know, there's a play where he overhelps early in the first half and gives up a 3, and you know you get out there and make those errors. Now, you know, in this Morehead State game, you know, you have a nice margin and you get a win, but you can make an error that you can really learn from. And he's the type of kid that'll learn from it. Like he's smart, he's analytical. So I think he's going to be able to do more good things, and I think he's going to be more impactful with the more experience he gets. So I look down and he gets 18 minutes tonight, and I like that because I think he's a guy that's going to have a good year for us.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
And coaches Wes.